How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. You guys know what time it is. We're going to be talking about everything XRP. Shout out to you guys. You guys know who you are. Appreciate you guys as always. But let's take a look at what's happening with the markets. Market has seen a bounce as we do start off a brand new week. You guys can see this for yourself. Double-digit gainers for multiple different coins right now across the board, which is, of course, is very exciting to see, especially considering, what we're seeing right now over the course of the last few days, where the market has seen quite a large hit, but we are starting to see a brand new week starting off on a really positive note. A lot of double-digit gainers, which of course is always exciting to see. XRP's price $2.08. XRP's price nailed the target that we spoke to you guys about, $1.91. We retested that, and since then the price has picked up. So again, highlighting to you guys the importance of that key range. I've spoken to you guys about that, and right now we're up about 5.6% in USD, up 1% in Bitcoin. Comparative valuation back above 120 billion, to be exact, 122.5 billion dollars, and the 24-hour trading volume is at about 3.6 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in cryptocurrencies. So Arthur Britto, co-founder of Ripple Labs and a key architect of the XRP ledger, tweets for the very first time, and this has gotten a lot of people excited, of course, within the XRP community. Is he going to come and talk about something that we do not know? We'll see what happens. Do let me know in the comments what your personal thoughts are on that. But with that said, look at this. Federal Reserve official ends reputational risk, which eases banking restrictions for crypto. And this is what we wanted. This is something we've been discussing because, like I said to you guys 1,000 times on this channel, if you go to the big banks, even the small credit centers, when you talk about crypto, these guys think you're talking about something that doesn't even exist on this planet. And now you're starting to see easing that these banks are going to officially start, providing these digital assets, services to their clientele. And believe it or not, that demand factor is definitely there for these assets right now. Do you really think these clients for these big banks don't, come to these banks and, these advisors and state that, we want exposure to the crypto assets? And this is revolutionary to say the least right here. This is really, really, really big news that we don't really want to be neglecting. But moving forward, bullish. Global M2 money supply is on the rise. And as you can see, of course, the correlation between, the two, we are seeing, the way the Bitcoin usually does tend to move in positive correlation to the M2 money supply. And are we going to see Bitcoin start heading towards, some of these levels? I don't see why not, because as of now, it has pretty much nailed, the positive correlation, between this. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, we're going to keep this, global money to supply into consideration. But this is what's really causing, some sort of excitement within the crypto space. So congratulations, world. It's time for peace. And this has been tweeted just a few hours back from Donald J. Trump. And Zoom says now pump the pegs. So we'll see what happens, obviously, right now. If there is going to be peace, which of course is something that I really, suggest. We need peace around the world. It's very, very important. And if this is really going to be the end, and we're going to come up with a resolution, and everyone is happy, I think this could really be, what we want to see. And then going obviously into July and September, potentially seeing a rate cut there, that would really just, get things started as to how we want to see it. But look at this. ISO 20022 is a standard for electronic data interchange between financial institutions. As we know, this is, Ripple is ISO compliant. So you can see, meanwhile, the Ripple Net Payment Object body carries payment infrastructure details governed by the Ripple Net Payment Object standards, which use the ISO 20022 PAX.008 message definition as a basis. So the second document confirms payment infrastructure's XRP. This can be found within Ripple's own documentation. So pretty much, this just changes the game. Of course, as we do see more and more institutions coming and adopting the ISO standard, this means that, Ripple could really be implemented and actually being used with these financial institutions, which of course is what we want to see happening. And again, things are slowly starting to align. Things are slowly starting to make sense. And as far as the native token XRP is concerned, we know the demand factor. There's a lot of big companies that are coming on board publicly, coming and raising funds to actually create a XRP reserve. And this is before a spot ETF goes live, obviously here in the US. So we'll see what happens, but everything is adding up. Look what happened in Canada. In Canada, we have seen ETF going live, on Toronto Stock Exchange. XRP spot ETF is live, not futures, spot, and that should really tell you where we are heading and moving forward. This is a complete insanity. Look at this. Circle stock is worth $300 almost $300, and in just the past month we're looking at about a 10x, and this is Circle stock. And this could tell you how much interest there really is for these crypto companies. And this, of course, opens the door for other companies to come on board and do an IPO. I've stated to you guys before my personal thoughts. I don't think every single company is going to, last. Of course, I think you are going to see the IPO hype really playing out, and I think a lot of these crypto companies are going to take advantage of this. But with that being said, obviously not all of them are going to succeed in the long term, but in terms of the IPO hype, it's definitely there right now. And I think, this just opens the door, and this has gotten a lot of people outside of crypto that are going to be now paying attention to these crypto companies that are going to go live. And I can't imagine what's going to happen when Ripple goes live. Let me know in the comments what your personal thoughts are on that. This is huge. So let me know in the comments what your personal thoughts are over this, of course. But look at this. A digital asset investor says there's a few that believe will outperform Bitcoin this year, such as XRP. I think most of these will double. Stephen, CEO of Canary Funds, thinking that we could see in the second half of the year, obviously because we are entering the second half of the year after June is done, which is this last week of June. He's expecting that we could see a lot of these coins outpacing, and I personally obviously agree with that. Valuation on XRP is much lower compared to the valuation of BTC, and of course, if the lawsuit is officially done for good, which of course it's pretty much done, but just settled, no longer going to be taking place, no longer going to be going back and forth. I think that could really trigger in a lot of excitement, and on top of that, ETF being approved, it could be literally a perfect moment for XRP. And looking at the dominance here, 65.5%. We actually did reach almost 66%. I have seen a little bit of a retracement since then. Bitcoin has seen a bounce. You can see this for yourself. We were sitting at about $98,269. We went up to $103,700. Right now, we're still not where we really want to see Bitcoin at. Bitcoin needs to be at 106,800 key resistance, but obviously right now we'll take it one step at a time. XRP, on the other hand, look at this for yourself. To all the haters that were talking negative, here we have it. We touched right at the neckline, so exactly we nailed it 100%, just exactly as we said. We retested the $1.91 right at the neckline, have seen a bounce. We're back in the 38.2, and we could actually see a daily candle close happening today here, which of course would be amazing to see. And if you want to put this into perspective, if you picked up some XRP around this key support line, you are up right now about 10% in over the last 24 hours alone. So that is amazing to see. We're going to take it one step at a time. Let me know down below what you guys think. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.